And good evening, sports fans. Welcome to Sports Desk. I am Paul on the ball. Back after a little break, and here with the main man, Mr. Carl Dubs Catliff. I'm jumping in before he does because I know he loves me so much. Could I say a quick good evening to his mother because I know she's listening, and Carl would love me to do so. But we're not here to talk about Carl or myself tonight. We're here to talk about the Digicel Jump Start. It's the Youth Basketball Elite Clinic. And here to talk about it is the one and only, I couldn't think of a better person. He is the Digicel representative, Mr. Jason Edwin. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, all. Good evening.
And I see along with you we have a big man. He's slightly taller than I am, Mr. Omar Walker. Good evening, Omar.
Good evening.
So let's talk about Jumpstart. In fact, before I get you in, let me get my co-host in here. Good evening, co-host.
You notice he said he left me for the last. Good evening, friends. At least I'm glad to see that he's back. Of course, you guys know last week I had to foot it out by myself, but and as you can see, he just left me out. Good afternoon or good evening, sir.
It is evening.
Yes. Good evening, and welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay, we can continue.
We can now. Okay, excellent. So we know we've gone over the preliminaries. So we have to Jason. Jason, tell us a bit about the Jumpstart. You know how it all came about and where we're at with it.
Well, couple months ago, Digicel partnered up with Sports Max, and with this partnership, they created what they call the Jumpstart program for youths between the age 14 to 16 to help develop their skill level, just their overall well-being as a youth. And one of the initiatives was to go out and touch all Digicel markets in the Caribbean and put forward these clinics. The BVI was one of their first stops that they touched base, and we were one of the markets that the coaches were very impressed with, that our talent at this level.
Now you are specifically the brand manager. What does that mean relative to us here in the Virgin Islands and regionally?
The brand ambassador just work with the company to aid them in terms of basketball ideas and different initiatives that the company would want to promote, like local sports and specifically basketball, to give them ideas and stuff to promote the youth and basketball in the territory.
Now when we had there was initial launch about a week ago or so, was it? A bit more than that. And there were initially 40 children that were young men, mainly, that were invited. Tell us a bit about that process.
Yeah, I was part of my responsibility was to select 40 young men from the territory to for the coaches to evaluate their talent for the 3 days, and also 12 coaches that was there on site at the multipurpose complex to go through different skill development for the coaches and the 40 boys. So over a course of 3 days, the coaches and the boys were evaluated, and they cut it down to 5 that will move on towards the end of this month to Trinidad for elite camp.
Okay, before I let my co-host in, I see him there dying to get in. We're down to the 5. We mentioned we started from 40 to 5. What was the criteria to get down to that final 5? What did that do differently to the other 35 to get to the final 5?
Well, honestly, the criteria wasn't anything that we, as the staff who prepared the boys, knew anything about.
Okay.
The coaches who came in had their criteria for what they wanted to see, and obviously the boys display on the days of the camp. So they came in with their own initiative that they wanted to put out there, and obviously they selected the 5 boys based on whatever criteria they came with. They didn't make it known to me or anyone who assisted in putting on the camp.
So you weren't made privy at all,
No.
and based on the 5 that they picked, dare you sort of guess what you think the criteria?
No, I mean, if I have to guess,
Yeah.
obviously, at this particular age group that they targeted, 14 to 16, they wanted to, stress, all the fundamental stuff in terms of discipline, hard work, and so forth. And I think the 5 boys that were selected was obviously a reflection of some of those things that, off the top of my head, I could think that coaches would want to see in, young men to, help develop their, basketball career or their, their life skills.
Okay.
My question, Paul, I just wanted to jump in.
Sure. Go ahead.
Jason, if you had the opportunity to select, would that be your 5?
I think so, based on what I would want for the country. Because when they leave from here, they're not only just representing themselves, they're representing the country, their parents, a brand. So, in what the coaches were looking for, one of the things I would guess is good representative, great ambassadors to the country, and I think these 5 boys would display that when they go out there.
Yeah, and that's a really good question, Carl, because I actually went to I think I did the second practice on a Wednesday, and I spent about an hour observing the youngsters, and I saw some very skilled young men who were doing the drills, but I thought to myself, those guys look so skilled, but when he said, like the coach turned, he says, I didn't tell you to bounce, because they took the ball and they were bouncing, and one guy was shooting, he goes, who told you to shoot? So these are the things that these guys are looking for, which the youngsters aren't aware of. And so he's looking to see those people who are following instructions. And obviously these are the 5 kids that did the best. Some people say they aren't kids, they're young men. Okay, let's talk about those 5 young men. We have in the studio Demoy Hodge, Coy Flack Solomon, also Jay Fret, Malachi Payne, and with us at present is Omar Walker. Omar, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, we've been talking about you. Tell us a bit about, from your perspective, what was Jumpstart all for you, and did you think that you could have made it into the Final 5?
Well, when I went there, I was pretty confident in myself. I know my skills, I know what I could do. So I just focused on showing that to the coach, and not only my skills, but my discipline and stuff like that. So yeah, I was pretty confident.
Well, funny. Okay, go.
Were you surprised when you were selected as one of the 5?
I wouldn't say I was expecting it, but no, I wouldn't say I was that surprised.
Okay. At least you're honest. Your colleague on the other side.
I was actually watching the practice, like I said, the second day, and he'll be surprised to hear me say this, but I was watching Omar do a drill where the coach was trying to get them to go from one side to the other and just one time lay it up. And he was struggling initially with it, and the coach said, no, I don't want it. You got to be faster. And I want 1, 1, 1, 1. And because of his height, he was kind of, a little awkward, but as it went on, he was really putting all the work into it. You remember that drill?
Yeah.
And I was very observant and looked at him, and I thought, at the time when I saw him, I said to myself, well, he's struggling with that drill, but the coaches are looking at the effort that he's putting in to get the drill right. And consequently,
I guess that's what my colleague here was trying to explain when it comes to the detailing of how much they put into work and stuff like that is what they were looking for. I can understand, the hard work pays off, and that's basically what happened for these 5 guys. It's not about, as you would say, skill set. It's about the hard work and discipline, and think that's what strive, for these guys. So I want to congratulate all 5 of them. Now, what I wanted to ask Omar, were you the tallest guy? Because I'm looking at the pictures, were you the tallest in the group? I mean, but for the whole 40?
No, I wasn't. There were about, I think, 2 boys taller than me.
How tall are you?
6'4".
Okay, so you're about 14, 15?
16.
Okay, so you got a lot more to go. So now my question to you, my good colleague here, so is what's next for the young man?
Well, we're right now prepping for the elite camp in Trinidad, where we leave on the 25th to the 29th. It'll be somewhat the same structure like the clinic that was held here, but obviously it's titled Elite. So 5 guys from each market that the coaches stopped would be in Trinidad and go through obviously a more rigorous training regimen, and to select 8 from that site to move on to the U.S. soil to have a NBA experience with NBA legends and coaches and players. So it's it's a great deal for these boys to, take advantage of it and be thankful to, Digicel and the NBA for partnering up and create this platform.
Okay, we're gonna come to that because I want to talk a bit about that process on to Trinidad and then on to the US. And obviously we want to talk about our sponsors, Digicel as well. And we have some reps who are actually here, who are actually parents as well. So what we're gonna do is take a pause for a cause. When we come back, more with the Digicel Jumpstart.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Paul on the wall. And I've got my buddy here, Carl Scatliff, who's really misbehaving, and I'm so glad we're back in here so we can calm him down. But we're not to talk about us, as I said before. We're here to talk sports, and of course, it is the Digicel Jumpstart Youth Basketball Clinic, and we're now here with the elites. And when we left, we were talking about the transition, Jason. As we've got another young man in here, Carl.
Ajay.
Ajay, what did you say, Carl?
No, not Ajay.
Ajay who, Fred?
Yes,
Ajay Fred, okay, good.
Ajay Fred. I've known Ajay for a long time. Actually, I wasn't surprised when his name was picked, because I know he had he's very good at basketball. About the discipline part of it now, he talks a lot about that. But
so it's something he'd been working on?
Yes, I can see actually that he has improved a lot.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I was working with him after the coaches left, and we really instilled discipline on and off the court, because part of the camp was obviously to have the players wear jersey numbers, and not only during drills or in the game, they were being evaluated off the court, whether they communicating with their peers or any faculty that was helping, how disciplined they were in terms of being respectful and stuff. So leaving the camp, I think the boys who participate on a whole left knowing that discipline, hard work, determination, all that stuff could pay off.
Now, I know, before I go to Ajay, I just wanted to ask you, there was a lot of talk actually among the other boys about, the selection and why they weren't selected and stuff like that. I mean, just now listening to what you were saying, was any of that explained to them?
No, I think the coaches did sit down in the actual orientation part of it and told the boys that, this camp is not just based on skill level, because it would be hard or impossible to break down or select 5 boys based on just skills. Other elements in the selection process has to be, weighed in. And at the end of the camp, I know for sure, questions were raised as to, why, certain players were picked or why certain players were left off. But the overall message that was left was, it takes more than skill to become a good basketball player or a good human being or a good young man. You need other, aspects to your game and, practicing certain stuff that will make you be a better person.
No, Ajay, I mean, tell me what you thought about the camp.
Well, I thought that the camp was a good experience for us, and it's an opportunity that we'll never get again. Well, we could get it again, but opportunity that's hard to get down here, and I think it's a good experience for us, and I would love to have a next experience like that again. So,
Coach, I'm going to give you a chance.
Go ahead.
Coach, now that the first part of it is over, what are you doing as far as preparing them for the second part of it?
Yeah, right now we're in the gym getting them prepped. I've been in contact with Coach McKeenan, who was one of the coaches who was here, and he left me with a regiment to, obviously carry out with the boys in terms of getting them prepped, because he's been around the sport, the game, for a lot of years. His dad was a coach, ex-NBA coach. He have a number of years of coaching under his belt. So, I've stayed in contact with him, and I asked him what could I do to aid these boys going forward. And he sent me a long email, and every day I'm corresponding with him, taking videos from the smartphone via Digicel, and sending him, letting them know, every day, the progress, how the boys are doing, and getting feedback.
So they're basically practicing every day?
Yep. Every day we're doing it up until the day we leave. So, and the boys are, you know, really
So
enthusiastic about
you
it.
can see a difference in the gameplay for like for example, Omar, like what Paul was saying, you can see his improvement as you go along.
Yes, I mean, from the jump, you know, the boys, you know, are grateful that they're getting this opportunity, and every day I'm reminding them that, you know, it's 40 guys who were selected. You guys were the elite 5. I'm calling the elite 5 that got selected. You guys got selected for a reason. You know, take advantage of this opportunity. Make your family proud. Make yourself proud. Make the territory proud, and also, you know, represent, you know, the brand that, you know, obviously put this event together to make it possible.
Khalid?
Well, I was just thinking that it's only fair to kind of give Digicel their props. And I know they had a number of persons from Digicel who were involved in the process. The commercial and financial director, who is Tommy Farrell, was very much involved from the inception. Also, their parents as well who are here today, who are also did Digicel retail store manager, Lisa Letsam, whose son is obviously here. Also, we have Katasha Melville, who is the PR and sponsor rep for Digicel. So there are other persons, and the marketing manager is also Jane Gray, who's not here but was very active in the whole process. So I just want to say thank you to Digicel, who obviously put a big foot forward and was a big part in partnership with the NBA. And obviously, when you know, for any team, I mean, remember Digicel is also partnered with the West Indies cricket board, so you know they've made a name for themselves there, and now partnering with basketball, we hope that it has the same effect as basketball, whereby it affects the whole Caribbean, and you know, not just one individual place, and that now opens doors for the likes of, you know, of these youngsters.
I just want you to make a note to Paul of the phone numbers that people can call and send texts. I realize that you neglected because we're a live number. But you can go ahead and let them know.
Okay, well, the number to call, yeah, it is. Thank you for letting me know. It's 547-3146. That's the number we have to use here today. Gosh, that'll put me on the spot here. But let's stick with Jumpstart for today, right? And we do want to thank Digicel for their support. Let's talk about the next step for these youngsters, and I want to get Ajay. Did I get it right? Ajay. Want to get his feedback on this, as well as I'm going to go to Jason. But
Jason.
Lots of fun. First of all, to you though, young master Fred, on a plane off to Trinidad, what are your goals? What do you hope to achieve from leaving from here at home off to Trinidad?
Well, I hope that I can make it to the next level, train hard, and make it to the NBA, make it to college.
Okay, Jason, you've heard what he just said. From your perspective, what are your hopes and goals for all of the 5 young men?
I think that's one of the things we wanted to inspire is the youth to obviously want to go to college, want to make it to the NBA, have the dream to play in the NBA. Along that journey, there's certain stuff, you know, needs to be put in place. You know, the discipline, the hard work, all these stuffs needs to, you know, be obviously channeled in the right direction. And, you know, with my help and obviously the sponsorship would, you know, obviously create programs that would make sure these young men are, you know, are aided with the tools to be successful.
No, before you go, Jason, I just wanted to ask a question. I thought it just came to mind. These boys are actually going through an elite training. And you said after here it's Trinidad, and after Trinidad it's the NBA. I mean, try to explain to the general public, you know, the transition and what it means, because I'm thinking if at their age, this experience of going to the NBA, what is it supposed to be doing for them?
Just showing them how basketball is prepared and, you know, played outside our shores. The preparation in itself, where going to these camps, they now experience with other kids from the region in the Caribbean, what it is or what their preparation is like in terms of, you know, getting up for school, because I'm sure when they go, they're going to meet friends from other markets that got selected, and the camaraderie that, you know, they're going to
I think
experience
what I really want to ask is, at their age,
at their age.
I mean, what does this experience going to do for them? I mean, because they're selected out of 40.
40.
Out of the 40 is 5, out of that 5 is 8 that goes off. The whole process, I mean, what does it, is it, okay, what I'm really trying to ask is that, are they looking at them, if they make that Elite 8 that goes off to the NBA, what's next for them? Is it a channel that they're going to be transferred to a different school, or,
Yeah.
you know, what's really going on?
I think I understand.
Yeah.
Basically, in everything, there's obviously network. By being in this network right here, and you go on to the elite camp, you're in another network. So these coaches would always use this pool of names to follow their progress over the next few years. So let's say, for instance, Ajoy, when he's 18, on his resume, it'll show that he got selected to, you know, the elite camp in Trinidad, and from how he did there, it'll be on his resume, and coaches will say, you know what, from a young age, Ajoy has shown, you know, progress and the ability to, you know, learn and, you know, be a good student, be a good player, be a good person. So that'll help Ajoy in his future, just being a part of.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Well, yeah, but I think I can help here, and that's the question. I was actually going to ask that same question from a different
So
perspective.
go ahead, let me hear your angle.
Well, I was going to say, well, there's only been one Timmy Duncan in our region
Right.
who has made the NBA. What we need, let's look closer to home. We've had Jamil Haywood, right? We've got Randy Chino George, who's in Europe. Okay, we've got Jason Edwin, who's, you know, again,
Who's a half-breed?
who has played all around Europe. There's also young Mr. Penn, there's J.R. Shiverton. So you had a number of youngsters who have
You left out Steve.
I actually have his name written down here, Steve Powell on the American Dream. Yeah. So we've had all these guys who have played at that level, but didn't quite make it to where Timmy Duncan went to. I think the point that Jason's trying to get to, what I was going to ask him to explain, which he's just done, is that what these guys are doing is opening the doors for for our youngsters to create a resume for themselves. They can't, and this question actually came up before when we were at the reception, in that their objective between themselves and Digicel is not to offer these guys a space in the NBA. Their objective is to open a door for them so that they can be seen, to create a resume, so that now they can say, hey, listen, I made the Elite 8 in the Caribbean. And from there they can now move forward. This is how the Jamil Haywoods and the Jason Edwins and the Randy Chino Georges get work now, because they've created a resume and their agents send off these resumes.
Yeah, but then you have to understand, they have to pass through the school system in order to get to that level.
Correct.
Now, here it is now, this is a jump start by passing the school system and going straight to the NBA. So this is what I'm trying to bridge the gap, so to speak, on what effect that's going to have on them.
That's a different. You're getting this mixed up with a LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. Those guys didn't go through this process. Those guys jumped straight into the NBA. They're not offering that. They're saying that these guys are that good, go up there and compete and just jump.
So now my question is, again, because you're bringing it back home,
Okay.
if they go up and they compete, or they see the talent of these guys at that age, that's what I'm asking, what's next? Because you have kids at 16 years old that probably just as good as any NBA players. What's next? That is the big question.
I can help with that.
No, don't help.
But I want to help.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Let the coach
All
talk.
I'm going to say is they're going to be scouts up there.
Of course they are.
That's the scouts'
But
job.
I'm again, they're bypassing all of the school systems. So, coach, can you explain that?
Okay, go on now.
They're bypassing all the school systems.
Yeah, okay. Right now, these kids are in high school.
Mm-hmm.
After high school, normally there's college.
Yeah.
And then there's, sometimes they get drafted from high school, depending on how
But I
good they are.
think we
They're going
answered
to
the
college.
question. It's building a resume.
Correct.
If at this age,
Yeah, but then how
could
can they
put-
build a resume if they know, leaving from our shores, at this age, straight to the NBA?
They're not going to the
They're not going
NBA.
to the
Cal.
No,
NBA.
but no, you explain that they're going for a process, right? Which is
Correct.
exposure and opportunity to play amongst and whatever the situation.
Okay,
may
let
be.
me tell you what. Let's take a break for a pause to thank our sponsors. When we come back, we can talk a bit more about this. I don't know if you have an idea. You might want to call in and give us your views. So we're going to talk more. We're talking basketball. We're talking Digicel along with the NBA. It's Jumpstart Basketball for the whole Caribbean. Stick and stay right back after the word from our sponsor.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Paul on the ball. Along with me is the main man, Mr. Carl Dubs Catliff. We're talking basketball. And more importantly, it's the Digicel, actually, along with, we haven't mentioned Sportsmax. Really important to mention that. And many of you have watched Sportsmax in the past. They've combined with the two to work along with the NBA to have the Jumpstart Youth Basketball Clinic, which was held, well, just over a week ago here in the Virgin Islands. And with us now, we have two young men who are part of the whole process. Someone asked, why did we only have one? We've actually had two up so far. We now have two more here, and there'll be one other young man which will be present in the future. And there's a caller who's calling in. You may now call back. We will take your call. And along with us now we have, Demoy Hodge. To my far left and to my immediate left, I have Malachi Payne. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Right. Listen, I know Carl's ready to shoot his wonderful questions. I'm going to just ask you a really simple question just to get the ball rolling. From both of your perspective, you're off to Trinidad, you know. I mean, genuinely, don't copy each other's answers there now. Otherwise you get an E. You know,
They give F's, Paul. They give F's.
well, they want to give an F. They can't get an F because they're already there. You know, why do you want to go to Trinidad, and what do you expect from there?
You first.
You don't ask them why they want to go. They were selected to go. How are you going to ask them why they want to go?
Well, I wanted to hear what they were going to say.
They are going. What their expectations are. That's what he's trying to ask. I'm
Our
correct.
expectations?
Yes.
Our
Thank you,
expectation
Yes,
is
you're welcome.
for all 8 of us to make it to the States.
Five.
Oh, wait, 5
From this country.
from this country.
Good.
All 5 of us, Omar, Ajay, Corey, Malachi, and me, myself, to go to the States and showcase and do good.
And my expectations are for all 5 of us just to have fun and do what we're capable of doing, because we didn't get picked for no reason. We get picked because we showed ourselves to the coaches.
You showed your skills.
Yeah.
Now, Malachi, I must say I'm impressed by your skill level, because I know in the father and son basketball game we had a little battle back and forth, and I know at that time you were just learning the game,
Yes.
and you've improved so much now. As far as Demoy, I mean, he has a lot more experience because he has lived in the U.S., played in the system. I actually came here and played in our system, and I mean, there's no guesswork when it comes to Demoy as basketball, because he has the J.R. Shiverton, coaching, and so I'm not surprised about him. But again, like I say, I'm impressed with your move, and I congratulate. I mean, all 5 of you guys for making this happen, because as you can see, it's dedication and hard work pays off.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys are taking this same experience in your schoolwork.
Of course.
Of course. Yes, I.
Yes.
What I probably would want to ask you is, and individually, both of you, why do you think that you were chosen? Why do you think you were chosen?
A good question. I think I was chosen because, like, they said that they went up an attitude. I didn't show no attitude in games or doing a workout. I just help and cheer on everybody and make everybody feel like they could do everything they couldn't do, and like that, stuff like that.
Okay, that's a good answer. What about you?
Well,
Mr.
I
Payne?
think I was picked because I love the game, and I was just playing. I was having fun, enjoying myself, but at the same time, pushing myself to do what I can do to my best ability.
Now, I'm glad that you said that. In that process, have you learned anything new that you can say that, was there anything that you haven't done before?
Yes, definitely. My post game has improved
and I'm still working on it with my coach.
Jason.
Yeah,
Jason. Okay.
Jason. Yeah.
My
You're all rounder, so tell me, anything new for you?
dunking. That's everything new.
But you've been dunking already,
Not really.
so you're actually jumping a lot higher now,
Yes.
and you think it's due to the jump start.
Not really.
Now, Malachi,
Yes.
you said your post game has improved a lot. Now, you know when you go up to Trinidad now, it's a different level of play for both of you.
Yes.
I mean, what's your expectation?
Um,
I know you might have butterflies when you see big guys and stuff like that, but, you know.
No.
What's your expectation? You do your do.
Yes. No one's gonna stop me. I'm going to push. Hard work pays off.
That's what I'm talking about. Colleague.
Well, I just think they both have a really good attitude, and I can see why the coach picked both of them. And outside of skills, they were both picked for attitude. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, I'm trying to think the way the coach is thinking as I listen to them speak. And Demoy in particular, you know, he said that his attitude was all about looking at the other youngsters and cheering them on. And these guys would have noticed that he's not selfish. He's looking at the others. And in Malachi's case, what I would have been impressed with Malachi is the fact that he really wanted to give his all. He gave 110%. He didn't give 100%. He gave 110%. And I bet you there are other guys who were probably better than him there, but thought because they were that good that they were going to get picked anyway, but they were given maybe 70 or 80%. So, you know, that could be a lesson for those others who didn't make it. But certainly, you know, Malachi now, listen to him speak, and again, that struck me, what he just said just now is, he's going to Trinidad and not look at the other kids, because he knows there are going to be kids there who are going to be better than him, but he's going there with the attitude that he's given 150%.
Well, like I said, I can attest to that because I actually saw him learning the game at an early stage, and I saw his improvement, because I was on the court, you know, and I saw his improvement. So, you know, again, I have to congratulate him on the hard work, just like he said, that he put in, because you can see at the end result what happens. And for all the other 5 guys, I mean, even the 40 guys, I'd just like to say it's not, you know, what you can do, but how you do it. You know, if you show, I mean, everybody has skills. It only takes one opportunity and your skill is gone, or one opportunity for you to fail, and then nobody looks at you. But if you're dedicated and you show, you know, appreciation, even to your peers, your others, you know, it does pay off in the end. So again, I want to congratulate the 5 that was picked out of the 40. I mean, it probably was a hard task, like you said, for a lot of the kids not knowing, okay, I might have a better skill set than these guys and I'm not picked. But folks, it's not just skilled. And I always say that every day. School, skills, it all works together. Because, I mean, you might have all the skill in the world, make all the money in the world, but you don't know how to manage your money. It's no use.
Right. So we're nearly out of time. We're going to take a pause. Before we take the pause, I want to end with a question to each of these youngsters here. So here's the question I wanted to give me. Short and sweet. What do you think is going to be the most important thing for you to make it to the next stage, from Trinidad into the final 8?
Hard work. Simple. Hard work pays off.
Okay. And for you, Demar?
I think that we have to have fun and just cheer on each other and make us work hard to get to the next level, like, and just do stuff.
So what worked for you before, you're sticking with, both of you are sticking with the work,
Yeah.
with that system. Okay, we're going to take a pause for a cause. When we come back, we're bringing back the man himself, the brand ambassador, Mr. Jason Edwin. Stick and stay right back after the
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back. I'm Paul on the ball. Along with me, of course, is the main man, Mr. Carl Dubs Scatliff. And we've got all 5 youngsters. One of the texts said, well, where are the other 4? Well, they're right here in front of you. And Carl, introduce them again.
Oh, we have Corey, Flax, Cat, Solomon. And also we have Jason. We have Demoy, we have Malachi, we have Jai, and we have Omar. Everybody's here. If you just notice, everybody's here.
And for those of you who aren't aware, also very much involved is the commercial and financial director, who is not here, Mr. Tommy Farrell. Also here, one of the parents, also the retail store manager, is Lisa Letsom. Also is the PR rep and sponsor, Miss Katasha Melville. And not here, the marketing manager, Jane Gray from Digicel. So we want to thank them all. And we also have to mention Sportsmax, who are also very much part of the whole
And
deal.
you're forgetting another parent.
Oh, I have. You helped me out.
Angel Flax Salmon.
And I forgot it. I forgot her both times. So also to Miss Flax Solomon, my apologies. Also here as well, a parent.
Now we have in the studio with us her son.
We do.
Corey. Corey, welcome to the show. I know you were the last one to be here.
Thank you.
Tell us your expectation and how did the Jumpstart Youth Basketball go for you?
The Jumpstart Youth Basketball went pretty well, I think. I just went on the court, did what I had to do, and came home.
Okay, but I want to jump in here because we asked the other two guys some tough questions. I guess Mr. Walker, so he's going to get away from this question. But we'll ask you now, what are your expectations when you go to Trinidad? That's one question. And the other question is, why do you think you got picked? So answer that one first. Why do you think you got picked? And then tell me your expectations.
Well, I think I got picked because of my attitude. I just was me. Kept it real with everybody.
So you have a great attitude then. But you got picked for your attitude. It had to be good because that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And then what about moving on to Trinidad now?
What do you expect?
What I expect players better than me. I'm not gonna lie. I expect players better than me, but you have to outwork them. You know.
So like the others, you're just focusing on getting your job done and forgetting about what's around you.
Yes.
It looks like we can end up with all five guys, up in the States, with that attitude.
My question to you, were you surprised when you got picked?
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little surprised, but.
Good, you're the honest one.
But hard work always pays off, so just gotta keep working.
Okay. Now,
well, we get back to Jason now because obviously when he left, we were asking a few questions. I guess the question that was asked was when let's say 2 or 3 of our guys, let's be fair to the other islands, get picked to go on to the U.S. What happens next, and what is the expectations of these youngsters at the next stage?
Well, if any of these guys are selected to go to the U.S., there'll be an experience of a lifetime where they work with NBA legend. I think they're gonna be being escorted around. I think the Miami Heat's stadium where they get to interact with players, coaches, get to ask them questions, see how they prep for the games, and just understand what it is to be a professional, so they could come back home and make notes on what the professionals do, and they could instill that in their everyday regimen in terms of prep for school and prep for life.
So the question Carl was asking now, which I'll ask again. So what happens next once these youngsters return home to the Virgin Islands? What's the next step for them?
Well, being the brand ambassador for Digicel, I'm gonna work closely with them, giving them ideas on what camps or clinics that we could, partner up and provide for them to, just piggyback off this. And obviously, from my knowledge, this is a 5-year deal, so we expect the NBA and Digicel to have this, partnership for the next 5 years. So when these boys obviously get of age where they move on, there'll be other, youngsters, in their position in the years to come. And obviously we'll work to, work with these guys as they get older and work with, the other grassroots, ages.
But let me just jump in here. You said 1 or 2 things I think that just piqued the interest of me and I guess the general public. You said that they're going to the Miami Heat stadium, so they are going to Florida.
Yes.
Okay, and the next one you said is what Paul asked about when he talks about what happens when they come back. Now, you spoke about these 5 guys. What about the other 40 who would be interested again in doing the same thing? What is there for them?
Well, basically,
The other 35. Who's interested, generally speaking?
well, obviously, we'll have to get feedback from the NBA and with their criteria of what age group they want to target. And I'm guessing that if they target the same age group, I'm sure the criteria will kind of be the same in terms of developing the youth character and so forth.
So you're basically telling me after these 5 guys come back, these are 5 guys that you'll be focusing on. And the other 35 who would be interested, they gotta wait until whenever. So they can't come in with these 5 guys and say, okay, well, you guys came back, this is the experience we shared, and these guys, draw the attention from these guys and say, okay, well, this is what happened, this is what we're looking for. So everybody really gets a grand idea. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
not what you're saying.
I'll be chaperoning the guys down to Trinidad. So
you're not going up to the U.S.?
I'm not sure what's
okay.
So I'll take notes and obviously working with Digicel to, obviously create programs that, I see fit and other coaches around the world and in the region would see fit that would help develop, these guys from this platform.
So can I put you on the spot and say, folks, when Jason returns, with these 5 guys, he'd have a lot of knowledge and experience. So for the other 35 or the other 135 who wants to get involved, come and see him. I mean, Digicel is sponsoring all of this anyway, so we could put Digicel on the spot too. Come and see him, sit down with him, find out if parents are interested, find out, the experience that happened and how your kid could be. Can I do that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot more information in terms of what we plan on doing in the future for, the territory. And I'm sure Digicel's been, so helpful in terms of, not just only sponsorship, but just, just being their support to aid in sports and basketball in particular.
So should I say, when it comes to basketball and sponsorship from Digicel, come and talk to you?
Well, that's a bit of a in-depth question.
I'm putting them on the spot. I'm putting them on the spot, right?
Well,
basketball.
He's the brand ambassador.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
When it comes to basketball, come and speak to him.
When it comes to basketball, not sponsorship.
No, I said
Basketball.
Digicel and basketball.
Okay, but that's the question I wanted to get to you, Jason, in that for you personally, what is in it for Jason Edwin?
Good question.
Yeah, honestly, I know what it is to be on these guys' shoes. I could remember just the other day I was 16 and we didn't have these type of programs. So I know how beneficial it is for them, and it would have been for me. So I see myself living vicariously through them. So I make sure that, my little brothers, I would consider them, get all my time and energy to be successful.
Right. Good answer, but that's not was my question. I'm not trying to be tough on you here, but here's what I'm looking at. I'm thinking about your personal future. You're here with Digicel, you're doing all of this. These guys are going to Trinidad, and some of them are going to make it into the final 8, and they may do really well. You come back home. What does Jumpstart put on the table for Jason Edwin?
Well, the opportunity to be a better coach, just being around the game. You can't stop learning in whatever craft you're in. So just being around the sports, whether it's at the youth level.
Paul is basically trying to get into your pocket. He's just trying to find the information.
No. Also,
but we understand, Paul. He can't spill that beans right now.
No. The other thing I was wondering
get back there.
is does it open the doors for you to more coaches in the States and more contacts?
So ask him those questions, because you realize he's having a problem answering you, Paul.
Honestly, just getting around knowledge of how to develop youth skills and is what I'm really aspiring to do right now, understanding what it is to move this country in a better space in terms of basketball and sports and fitness. So just working with Digicel, we could come up with creative ways of developing basketball specifically, and just aid other coaches too in terms of getting them certified, so they could then come back with the knowledge and be able to help the youngsters.
That's what I was looking.
Yeah.
We're entirely the clock.
No, but before you go, one question.
Okay.
Jason, you saw the level of basketball move from strength to strength here. You see the level that we at right now. The situation that faces us right now is that, like Jumpstart, we have kids that has talent. These kids move on to stages. They're going to college. When they come back home, you see the problem that we have as far as coaching and preparing. With an opportunity like this from Digicel and Jumpstart, where do you see yourself in aiding in any of the?
Well, just like you try to state right there, in the preparation, I mean, I know yourself as a trainer, we could work with other trainers to aid in the development of the sport in general, to just help the young men and women to understand preparation is the key when you want to become a great athlete.
Okay.
So we're going to work in terms of development and working with the coaches to get better understanding and knowledge of how to train and prep the youth.
Okay, good. Mr. Solomon, I know you wanted to just say thanks to some people. You want to do that quickly? We're out of time.
I want to say thanks to my trainer, Kello, Eric, Dervin. Just want to show my appreciation to them.
To everyone.
To everyone.
And well, the other guys are standing, but I mean, you guys, I'm sure you want to say thanks to everybody who supported you as well. Yeah?
Shout out to your mom or dad or something.
Yeah. There you go. They're whispering. Shout out to mom and dad. Since we're any time.
Before you go, I just want to say I didn't mention your mom tonight. Mommy Hewlett, I just want to say I was trying to be on my good behavior, but he has been missing for a long time. I just want to say good night. I know you're watching the show. You didn't call in tonight, but I think everything is okay. He'll be back here next week.
So on that note, good sports. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.